Yeah.
Today, we're going to hear from Sister Julian how you patch people, how the patches help her and her family, as well as she's growing the business all the way to presidential director. Ladies and gentlemen,
Right.
let's welcome Sister Julian Chung.
Thank you. Nikki says, me too. Who wants to recruit me? I want to recruit her. She's mine. Nobody else takes her.
All right, Sister Nikki.
So
Yeah.
basically, I got started 10.5 years ago with Nikki. And Nikki did have a hard time, not 4.5 years hard time. I did dodge her for a full month. Where she just kept calling me, and I'm like, woman, please, I am not doing this pyramid crap. There's just no way. There's no way I'm doing anything pyramid. So I just wasn't very much interested in it at all. And at the time I was in insurance and I was making good money. So why would I get into some sort of a scam? What I knew to be a scam. So I just kept dodging. And then by the time she, called me, when she called me, I just kept putting her off. I didn't answer her calls. And she kept texting me saying, oh, this is what happened today. This is what happened today. And I was like, okay, whatever. And I read it. I just said, oh, very nice. I didn't give her any other message other than, oh, very nice. And then she started calling me. So I was like, oh no, this is not gonna happen. And by the time I declined her call 3 times and sent her a message saying, I can't respond, please send me a text message, what this is in regards to. And then she sends me another testimonial. Okay, this was getting really annoying. And it looked like she wasn't gonna stop. I got the feeling that she wasn't gonna stop. So on the 4th call, I finally said, okay, fine. I will be here at this time at another meeting. So why don't you just come by and I'll give you like 15 minutes. Okay. So she comes in and I don't even finish this meeting. I just scoot right over because we were in a banquet seat. So I just scooted right over to the next table and I was like, okay, what the heck? What is this about, sis? And then she was telling me these testimonials again. And I'm like, okay, this really means nothing to me. I just rolled my eyes and it could have stuck in at the back of my head because it rolled back so far back. And I just said, okay, you know what? The problem though was that I could not be tested. I couldn't be tested because at the time I was on a raw vegetarian lifestyle. So I couldn't be tested. And because I couldn't be tested, so what can she prove to me? She's saying, oh, brother's pain reduced within minutes. And I'm like, okay, and? Oh, somebody else's pain reduced in a few minutes. Okay, and? And I just gave her such a hard time. I was so nasty. I really was. This is 10.5 years ago. And every time I tell my story, I still feel really bad and guilty towards her because bless her heart. I mean, everybody who knows Nikki, you guys all know how sweet and nice she is.
Yeah. Yes.
And without her patience, if it wasn't for her, I would not be in Lifewave. I really, because everybody else, like the way I acted, they would have literally walked away from me because I was just so nasty. I was such a bee with an itch. I was a bee with the biggest itch. I really was.
Oh,
yeah. So, but then, once she did that, I still couldn't be tested. So what happened at the time, this is when God comes into play, I think, sets up the scene just right. The 2 people that I was in a meeting with, one of them was only 25, 26, and he got into a car accident when he was 15 or 16. And his back was so messed up that when he sits down for a meditation for about, for an hour, he can't get up. He actually has to lay down where he is and then stretch himself out very slowly. And it takes about 10 minutes for him to stretch up before he can walk again. And then, we used to do insurance together, and we used to have, go different door knocking and whatnot together. And many mornings he actually would not be able to get up and, and come to our door knocking because he was in so much pain. So I knew that his pain was real. So this is what I did to Nikki. I said, okay, go ahead and help this guy right here. Go ahead and test it on him.
Yeah.
I basically challenged her to help this guy out.
Right.
And so she did. She actually, at the time, all we knew was Lifewave and Silent Night. So she actually put Lifewave on him. And a few minutes later, his name was Brian. Brian said, you know what? I don't have any pain. And I looked at him and I said, Brian, can you please tell her the truth? You don't have to sugarcoat this. She's please let her tell her the truth, because I really don't want her going around promoting a product and make a fool of herself. So you got to tell the truth. You don't have to be nice to her because you know me.
Right.
And he looked at me like, and I looked at him like, and he was like, I said, and then there was another guy. So I said, okay, Alvin, you got pain? And he goes, I don't have pain, but my back is kind of tight. I said, okay, good enough. Sis, can you do something with him? And then he said, Nikki's favorite line is, we could try. We could always try. So I said, okay, we'll try it. So she did. And he was like twisting his back. I said, dude, what are you doing? He said, I'm looking for my pain. I said, dude, if it's gone, don't look for it. So are you saying you have no pain? And he said, no. I said, awesome. Okay. Now at this point, I'm starting to see dollar signs spinning around my head, right?
Yeah.
So then, but there was another person that I thought of. And when she gets tattooed, she said it tickles. So imagine the kind of pain that she must have been in when she was dragging her feet while she was catering my women's luncheon a week before. So I called her up. So by this time, I pick up on this stuff really good, right? Information really well. I said, girl, I think I have something for you. Nikki just found something completely drug and chemical free, and giving her the spew. She goes, girl, I don't care how much drugs it's got, just bring it. I said, okay. So we actually went to her restaurant, and her husband was there first. And then, so I asked them, like, so how's Steph doing? She goes, girl, she walked in like a grandma, do something. I said, I can't do nothing, but I got Nikki. She might be able to do something. So then by the time she came in, she was dragging her feet. After Nikki patched her, she went out dancing that night.
Wow.
With that, I saw money like cha-ching, cha-ching, just literally spinning on top of my head. So I'm probably, how most of us come in with an experience, like, oh, I have to test it out for myself first. I think I'm probably one of the, few people that literally just jumped in after seeing somebody else's experience and jumped in for money.
Wow.
And of course, it's been incredibly amazing since. So, I've been in health and wellness for 10 years before that. And so, and I used to do raw grain. I used to be on raw grain, raw vegetarian lifestyle. So I've seen thousands and thousands of health products. I've been to hundreds of wellness expos. I've never seen Lifewave. Nobody ever had a Lifewave booth. So of course, when she comes to me with that, like a little Band-Aid, are you kidding me? A Band-Aid? It's like, and what made it worse for Nikki in the beginning was that when I first met her, poor thing had adult acne problems, and she was walking around with like Band-Aid on her face, on her very angry pimples. So I looked at her like, okay, you can't even take care of yourself. So how are you going to show me something a Band-Aid that tells me that does all this. So I didn't believe her. Okay, that's how big my head was, because I was in health and wellness for 10 years before that. Then on top of that, pyramid just doesn't work for me. Well, at the time, she didn't know it, but so this is my history of, I don't know if you can see my picture here. That was me when I was 25.
Mm-hmm.
That was me when I was 30.
Wow.
Okay.
You look younger today.
Oh, that was when I was 30, pudgy.
Okay.
And then with my raw grain, I lost weight.
Wow.
And then when I met Licky, when we started with Lifewave, you see how I started gaining weight again? See Nikki's picture right there? See how pudgy we both were?
Mm-hmm.
Then once we started Lifewave, that was us 4 years later.
Woo!
Okay.
44.
And that's me last year.
Wow.
So
Perfect.
that's at 50. So I have my own story as to why I'm never going to stop Lifewave, because I'm just trying not to look and feel like a typical 51-year-old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, and as you saw our, before picture, like Nikki and I have a history together. Like we have a 10 and a half long years of Lifewave history where we are never, ever going to stop using Lifewave patches, not just for us, but also the thousands of people that we were able to help so far.
Wow.
So, and just, earlier, Tony said, oh, hey, I don't have any sunburn today, right? Well, I do have sunburn because I was in the sun for about 5 hours earlier today. And I was at the pool. So I got burned. So you could totally see the discoloration of my skin, but I have no pain because I made sure I had X39 and X49 on. Perfect. And what I actually discovered, because I'm used to going to Vegas once a year, because my skin don't tan. I actually don't tan. I burn, and then I peel off 3-4 layers, and I'm back to literally being pasty white again. It's really embarrassing. But with that, I could still get at least a layer of color so that I could wear a skirt and shorts during the summer, for a few months during the summer. So that was my routine. Then glutathione, once I discover Lifewave patches, and then I get tan, I just peel off a layer, and I actually have a couple of layers that last me a little bit. And so that was my routine until X39 came out. The first year that we actually had X39 and I was out laying in the sun, I usually lay out about, a day before, because that's all I need pretty much to burn my skin out so that, I could have some color for a couple of months. Well, with X39, I actually could not get a tan. And I thought it was the weirdest thing. So a couple of years, we had it, 3 years? So a couple of years ago, I tried it again. So I had to stay out in the sun for a while, many days before I can get a layer of color. And then because X39 and glutathione is healing my skin so quickly, I actually can't get tans anymore. So that's a crazy thing about the Lifewave patches. And so right now, earlier today, I had X39 and X49 on, and then I had a little bit of a discoloration and burning sensation on my shoulder. So I put on aloe vera lotion, and now I have no pain at all. So if you are already prone to tanning, great. But in my case, where my skin literally burns, and I'm actually allergic to the sun also. So if I stay out in the sun for about 5-10 minutes, I start itching. But I can actually now stay out in the sun now and not burn. So I can actually enjoy the sun, which is another good thing. And of course, we have a lot of different testimonials. Just yesterday, a young lady who's gotten 5 surgeries within 10 years because lack of circulation in her uteral area. With just a few patches, we were able to reduce her pain. So we have a lot of fun stories. And as far as, of course, building Lifewave is concerned, what do? We always, just like Danielle said when we were at the convention, you just stick it and roll, right? So so we try to teach everybody to keep it simple as much as possible. Stick it and roll, stick it and roll. But of course, everybody wants to, make things complicated. What they don't realize is that Nikki and I, for the first 6 months, when we first discovered Lifewave, we stayed up, both of us, always until like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, sharing information about acupuncture points, how the body works, how the meridian points work, and what is this, what is that, and we shared a lot of information. We collected a lot of information. So what we used to do, we put all of our information into a collection so that our people, our team members, don't have to spend that kind of time, wasting their time, and instead we teach them to go out and just patch. Just patch. There is no wrong way to patch. So even though we actually do, have patching training every Thursdays because everybody still wants to know, just to satisfy, their curiosity, we have Thursday patching trainings, but we try to keep it as simple as possible and tell them just patch and roll, patch and roll. Okay, there's no wrong way to patch. There's no wrong placement. There's nobody's gonna die. Nobody's ever gonna die. So don't be afraid to patch. So we teach them to not fear the patching. Okay. And then as far as Nikki and I, we had our own office out in Alhambra. We ran our own office in Alhambra, and we did that for a very long time until the city shut us down because of COVID, because of the fear of COVID. But I gotta say though, that actually did allow us to expand our business further, because now we were forced to Zoom. So when we used to be more face to face, we were more local, whereas the Zoom is now allowing us to be more international. So in our trainings, we have people coming in from internationally to join our training. So and nationally as well. So that's a lot of fun. And that's actually what brought me out to Utah. So, when my kids were homebound because of COVID, because the schools were shut down, we came out here to meet our Utah partners face to face. And I loved it out here so much. I visited here twice to meet with them. And I said, okay, we're moving. And so 2020 August, we visited, loved it. We visited again in September. We loved it. And I said, okay, we're moving. And we were out here in November of 2020. That's how quickly we changed. We decided that we were going to be out here, and we absolutely still love it out here. And our business is growing. In the beginning, we had a big Utah team, but because of COVID, we actually did have a lot of business partners out here that were older, and COVID unfortunately kept them home. And while they were kept home, because they were a lot of them were face to face as well. But once they were kept home, they kind of lost the zeal to do business, and they mostly became customers. So because of that, I'm in the process of rebuilding Utah and the distributorship out here. So that's what I'm working on. And of course, becoming presidential director, I owe all of that to Nikki and Larry, who always, man, talk about tenacity. Talk about tenacity. There's not too many leaders that's been around for that long of a period. And Nikki and Larry, and when we first started, their passion for Lifewave and our passion for Lifewave actually started with Larry's accident. A lot of you know who Larry is. And you know, when we first you know, started Lifewave, it was just for pain and sleep, and that's all we knew. Pain and sleep was all we knew. But once Larry got into an accident, and then you know, Nikki was given the opportunity to use all the patches, somebody said to her, "What have you got to lose? What if it works?" They used her line on her.
Taste your own medicine.
Line on her. So once Larry got better, that's when we realized, wow, these patches aren't just for pain and sleep. It was absolutely incredible. Those of you who know Larry's story, he should be dead by now, honestly. If he's not dead, he should be permanently disabled. But he is so normal, well, as normal as he can be. Is he here? Okay. He's like a brother to me. He's like a brother you never wanted that you can't get rid of. You know what I mean? But we still love him. And you know, and thanks to him and his personal experience and Nikki's experience of what it took to take care of him and to save his life with Lifewave patches is what brought us here, all the way here, you know, going on 11th year with Lifewave. So you know, I think there was a lot of things in between that happened. You know, we got over a lot of challenges and whatnot, but it's the challenges I actually wouldn't you know, trade for anything. And I think Nikki would probably say the same. Huh, sis?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So and that's pretty much it, unless you have any questions for me.
Fantastic. That was awesome.
Thank
Powerful.
you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a good night. Enjoy your dinner.